Hi, everybody. We are back. We are into the black. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited that she's here. I can't. I'm like a little heart palpitations. My guest today is someone who embodies resilience, intellect, and the power of transformation. From the hallways of healthcare partnerships to the glamorous stages of pageantry, she's a force of nature, advocating for mental health, education, and breaking ceilings wherever she goes. Because, yes, as the reigning Miss Delaware USA, a two-time published author and a visionary behind Rethink EDU, her journey is a testament to what it means to lead with purpose and passion. Today, she joins us to share her story and her unwavering commitment to service. Please welcome Noa Mills. We love you. How are you?
I'm better now that I'm hanging out with you.
Workday's over.
It's Friday. It's after 5. We're hanging out with Heather.
Yes.
We're doing great.
Yes. Oh, you know what? Cheers with the tea.
Like most hospitable.
Cheers.
Ever.
Oh, stop.
Amazing.
Everybody gets tea, coffee, or water when they're here.
It's amazing.
This is actually going to be airing on the night of Miss Delaware USA pageant on April 28th.
Special.
And it just kind of happened that way. It wasn't like planned. Yes. I have a ton of questions for you. Some of them fun. Some of them really in depth, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As a partnerships implementation specialist, that is a mouthful, girl. Yeah. What's the weirdest partnership you've ever had to work on?
Ooh, the weirdest partnership I've ever had to work on. Well, I will say I'm not sure that any of them are weird, more than they're just all
unique,
different and very unique.
Yes.
The most unique.
Well, the one that you are allowed to talk about.
Something that was really unique, I guess, for me was really my first time ever stepping foot in a psych ward. I think something that people don't know a lot about is what really takes place on the inside of those when people are providing care. For me, it was 4 years ago now, and I've learned so much about the inner workings and operations of what actually takes place, the stigma that is surrounded around the people that just need care. You know, they're still people. Right. They experience a lot of struggles that may be different than you and I, but struggles are struggles and people are people. Yes. So, I just think that it definitely was a unique experience for me for the first time to be able to see firsthand what takes place inside of us.
That must have been really eye-opening because not a lot of people get to see inside a psych ward. That would probably leave you, feeling some type of way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I could not even imagine. Seeing as your parents are pastors, yes?
Yes, both of them.
What is your favorite hymn or the one growing up? What was your favorite?
I cannot even...
Too many?
What's my favorite? I think, when we were growing up, our parents took us to school. Thankfully, they drove us to and from school, and all that we didn't have an option. It was very much you're listening to this and that is it.
Right.
But my favorite gospel artist will have to be Yolanda Adams, and any of her songs are a yes for me.
Oh, I love that. And your parents, they just, they kind of fed you all that really good gospel music.
It was no choice. This is what you are listening
What did you expect when you would get in the car in the morning? Who were you hoping that they would turn on?
Hoping that they would turn on something kind of upbeat, something who's second, a Ty Tribbett, who was more like an upbeat, really energetic gospel singer. Okay. But if it was my mom, it was giving as slow as humanly possible. She also drove as slow as humanly possible. So, she's a very much...
Gotta get you there safe.
Yes, she's a stickler for the speed limit. Love you, Mom.
Love you.
But yes, she loves peaceful music. And it's so funny now that I'm older, I like peaceful music too. But when I was younger, I was like, where is the... experience?
I feel you on the relaxing music. Yeah. I love a good lo-fi chill.
Yes. All the time. And I'm like, what am I, 50? This is crazy.
This is why we get along. Yes. We would just be chilling with some lo-fi chill. Yes. I love it. Can you describe the most outrageous or the most expensive outfit that you've had to wear as part of Miss Delaware USA journey or the Miss USA journey? Because that costume that you wore, it was so good. I just was blown away.
That was probably my favorite, and it also possibly was the most expensive thing I wore. It was truly, if the designer is watching this, then Blas, you are an artist. I have never seen anything like it. It was something that the cost to ship it was expensive. The cost, all of it, but it was worth it. And I think the quality of it it really spoke volumes. I was so excited that people took to it so well. I didn't know how people would respond.
It was so good.
But he took so much time, like to really, you could tell like it was not something, it wasn't just a job to him. It was something that he really does genuinely care so much to put effort behind.
Right.
And every step of the way, he was like a joy to work with. So that definitely was my most expensive
That
experience
is so
to
good.
date. Yes.
Yes. And it
Yeah.
was, if anybody, well, how would you describe it? It was like this big
Yes.
pink
Think
flamingo.
like it was like the best way I could explain it. People kept asking me like, "Can they buy it from me for Carnival?" So I think whatever, think like
Carnival, yeah.
whatever you would think with very big like Victoria's Secret wings. Like that's kind of the best way I could explain it.
It was so good. And I'm going to be like, bing, like look at it right here. I'm going to like input, definitely check it out because it was so good. And I'm really excited to like, because I've seen, because didn't they just bring back the state costume competition portion of Miss USA?
Yeah.
And so the past 2 years, I've been able to see the costumes.
It's so exciting.
I know.
And it's beautiful. Like you get to see what each day is about. I think I learned more during that experience than anything. More so just about what the states are for, their state symbols, the history of them, and then also like current events. Kind of, I loved one of my favorite was Hawaii Savannah. If you're watching this, loved it. She actually won the contest, and her costume was off of a current event that was taking place in Hawaii. So it was really awesome.
Right?
Yep.
Wow, that is, I love that.
Yeah.
I love fashion, so that's why I love talking
10 out
about
of 10.
it
I was all over that. That was probably my favorite part of the competition. For sure. Yeah.
What is the food you pig out on after pageant season
my
over?
gosh.
I would choose pizza.
I eat anything that's there. And I think it's so funny because if I'm not allergic to it, I am eating it. I think that people don't understand, or maybe they do, like, the extent of what takes place for pageant prep. The moment you see a burger or a piece of pizza or a chicken wing, it's just like, well, I'm going to have that. And I'm not going to feel any way about it.
You
the
deserve
donut,
it.
The cookie, all of the above. And it's because you worked for it. And,
That's
and
right.
you can enjoy it.
So That's right.
In balance. So really.
What is like the one to, because it would be like pizza or Krispy Kreme donuts, like that pizza.
Oh, absolutely.
Favorite topping?
Pepperoni.
Pepperoni pizza.
I'm a pepperoni girl through and through.
I think we need to go to Vienna Bistro and get a pepperoni pizza
right now. And
shout out to Vincenza. Yes. I know we were talking about music, and this is like a random question because it's not on my cards. I have always been influenced by strong Black musicians, like women musicians. And so Missy Elliott and Janet Jackson. Janet Jackson was my first cassette in my car. Who's your favorite?
I think Holy Grail, and the reason may be a little different. Beyonce's work ethic is very inspirational to me. I think watching someone that by all intents and purposes could stop today and just be like very much that girl done. She just continues to push the bar. I love a woman that understands that the ceiling is also the floor and will continue to just go and be as amazing as humanly possible. Like, I love, my favorite thing is like women just being the bomb, and I'm here for that. I love the way that she continues to surprise us and push the envelope and continue to show us that, there really are no limits, and it's not just a cliche. I mean, you can see it through her life and in her career as well.
I love that you just said the ceiling is also the floor. It is, that is so true. How do you like her new album?
Oh my God, I love it. And I
on repeat.
No, seriously, because I am not a country girl. So I was just like, Beyonce, I love you. I'm gonna give it a try. But it really was something that I really enjoyed. And for all intents and purposes, I say again, like, just to be able to move seamlessly throughout genres and be the first African American woman to chart the top of the charts for country, it's just like she's just doing it and moving and shaking and becoming, and it really is just an example and a testament to what you can decide that your life is going to be.
And she's just getting started.
Oh, she's like not halfway done. Like, she's like not even. Yeah, it's amazing.
I love that she collabed with Dolly Parton because
it was beautiful.
So you played a crucial role in the passage of Delaware Regulation 615 2.0. Yes. Which mandates schools to provide mental health resources to students and their guardians.
Yes.
Thank you. What was the biggest roadblock you faced in that?
I think the biggest roadblock that I faced was really not all the way understanding the legislative process. I think I had a lot to learn. Senator Nicole Poore, in her desire to help me. I couldn't do this by myself. I had no idea about how this worked, what the proper process was, how you even go about getting something like that done. And in my mind, I guess it was like some big ordeal that I was like, this is going to take a very long time. And it did not. It just took effort to learn and support. And I think that was something that opened my eyes to what we as individuals are capable of as far as contributing to society. And I really enjoyed that process because I learned so much, and I'm like a avid learner.
Yeah, I know you are.
Yeah.
And I actually just want to say thank you for that, because as somebody myself who has been struggling with, high functioning depression since sixth grade, there wasn't a lot of resources growing up in, even middle school, high school, and even college. So, I do want to say thank you for your work in that, because that really that means a lot to me. And that actually is going to help my daughter, in her endeavors and throughout her schooling and growing up. So in your journey for Miss Delaware USA and Miss USA, how do you represent the rich diversity of Black womanhood, and what message do you hope to send to young Black girls looking up to you? I know the last part might be a little cliche, but, I want to ask that question.
I love you, first of all. Second of all, I love this question because I had so many thoughts of my own self, running in this organization and having sometimes the picture of the sisterhood that doesn't always look like you. I think I talk a lot about the history of Miss Delaware USA and the first African American woman winning in 2017. Like that was like not even 10 years
Right.
ago. Right. It was very recent.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes it's something that not a lot of people think is a determinant, but I think sometimes representation means so much to people that can't see themselves looking back at them. And when I was doing my understanding of the legacy, I was like, okay, I see a lot of amazing women here, by merit. I like to always say that by merit. They won because they deserve to win. But when you can't see yourself in those experiences, it's very hard to believe that something is in reach for you. When I would reach out to the past African American Miss Delaware USA, they were like, okay, how can I help? What can I do? How can I support? What do you need? Do you need money? Do you need a dress? Do you need a hair extension? What is it that you need? And there's this immediate desire to circle around you and support you. And one thing that I can say, and I speak about her every time I get the opportunity to say this, is that Shanna Hinton Williams has been that for me. She took immediate responsibility for me. She didn't know me from a can of paint.
Right.
Every dress that I had came from her. Every shoe that I had came from her.
God,
everything that I've ever worn, Shanna approved it, looked at it, searched for it, like high and low. She's like this silent pageant producer.
Right.
Like she coached Renee, the first African American Miss Delaware USA.
Oh, wow.
She coached Mia. She coached me. So it was a lot of, how can I show up for you, that I learned through that experience, that's my job and my role for other African American women as well. And not just African American women, but also all women.
Right.
I think that sometimes there is an additional conversation surrounding diversity when it comes to, okay, I am African American. We can see that, but I'm also a woman,
Yes.
just like you. And I think that we have a lot to learn from each other as far as our cultures and our backgrounds and the things that we have to share. And it has less to do with what we look like and who we are, but more to do with the character of who we are as individuals. As far as the second part of the question, what I wanted to be for, young African American women looking up to me, I've had so many girls. Like, I want to print these emails out, put them on my wall. You have no idea. Because sometimes you're just living and walking in your purpose and you have no idea what it's doing for someone else. And I like to say all the time that I get up every day for other people, not for myself. When there's a time in your life where you get up and you feel sick or you feel tired or you feel overwhelmed. You're like, I am not going to that appearance today. I am not going to that meeting today. I'm not going to go show up. I need to get this. But no, there's somebody positioned there that you are supposed to impact.
Yeah.
And if you don't show up, they can't get what they need. And I think sometimes leading my life in that way, as far as my requiring myself to show up, kind of has shown me that, okay, every time you show up, somebody else is understanding that they too can be what you are. And it's not ever been about me, but it's always been about them.
That is
the young African American girls that write me like, this is so crazy. I could do this. Like, you look like me. Like, I mean, like, it's the most humbling thing. And it has truly made me a whole different person.
I love that. That is so great. And it's like, that also is a reminder to everybody that in order to make an impact, you do need to show up.
You have to. It's like impossible not to.
Right.
And another thing I like to say all the time is, if you don't, somebody else will.
That's right.
Yep. You will miss your mark here, today, tomorrow, and next year. If you don't show up, somebody else will.
Yeah.
They're the first runner-up for a reason. They will pick her, and she will do
That's
the job.
right. That's
you
right.
Have to show up.
Somebody will come and fill that void.
Somebody will do your job. If you don't walk in your purpose, somebody else will do it.
That is just,
Yep.
I love that. That is, guys, don't let other people fill the void. You fill the void.
Fill the void. I love that.
So you're one of 5 siblings, yeah?
Oh my God. Yeah, we got a little basketball team going. Starting 5.
So what is harder, getting 5 siblings to agree on what to eat for dinner, or getting legislation passed in Delaware?
Getting 5 siblings to find out something to eat. You have
That's much easier.
Idea. That's harder.
Is it? That's harder. Everybody have their own taste and likes and
that's exactly what it is. I think sometimes, we think about siblings and we're like, oh, you guys like
all
think the same. Everybody's no, we went to 5 different schools because my parents cared so much about our individuality that they wanted to figure out where we thrive best. My whole life has been my own track. I've never been grouped together with my siblings. My siblings haven't been grouped together with me. We're individuals, and we've been appreciated for who we are, for right down to our food tastes. Yeah. And, it really is difficult to get everybody on the same page when it's time to eat, but it definitely is, it's a lesson in understanding individuality. So
right. So what restaurant would you guys go to where everybody was like, okay, everybody's happy?
It has to be something like quick. I'm trying to think, and I want, because they're gonna watch this thing, like, why did you say that? This is probably not a restaurant, but I think my mom's cooking is something we all can just be like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, like we all can agree. Mom's cooking is the bomb.com.
Yes, it really is. My mom, she's like has this famous lasagna that like people ask her to pay for, and like whenever my mom is like making lasagna, we're like, okay, what time is it? When is it done? Is it almost cool? Because that's when I need to be at the house. Like, because if you don't make it, you will not get a piece, and nobody will care. Like, it's that good. Yeah. So it really is. It's exciting. So my mom's cooking will be what we can agree on.
I'm coming over for dinner, Mom. I'm gonna eat that lasagna.
Think like Mother Teresa times like the housewives. Like, she would house all of Delaware if she could. So like, more than welcome to do that.
Okay, so favorite thing in your closet. This actually is my grandmother's vintage. I don't know. So I know. And I had to wear it because I was like, Miss Delaware USA is here.
This is very appropriate.
So I was like, okay, let me just do a nod to my grandmom and the fashion. So what's your favorite thing in your closet right now?
Favorite thing in my closet right now. Oh my goodness, this is gonna
You probably have a lot of things in your closet.
It's like not okay. It's like slightly concerning. But no, I do think right now the favorite thing in my closet would have to be either like my pageant gowns. I know I'm not gonna wear them again, but they stand for something, like really important moments in my life that I get to look at them and remember what it took to, get them. And I think that they are just as much as part of the journey for me as anything else. So I think the clothing with a meaning is what's important to me right now.
Your dress last year?
Oh my God.
Girl.
Thanks, Shannon.
I was like, you're going to win. Like, you're winning.
Yeah, she designed the whole thing. Like, I'm trying to tell you, she was like, okay, what color? I'm like, white. She's like, done. How do you feel about off the shoulder? How do you feel about gold?
Girl, you got stems for days. Thank you, God, that she put a slit up there and like showed off your stems because.
And it was so funny because I was like, I think we could do a slit. And then the slit is like, it's good because my legs are so long. But at the time I was like, I don't know how high this is gonna get. But no, it ended up being perfect. And Dana, she tailored it to my body. Everything was just it was immaculate.
That dress. And
Bonnie designed it. Was amazing.
I know I shouldn't say this, but you are already now Miss Delaware USA.
Yes.
I've been like rooting for you for like the past I don't know 3 years. I was like, you need to win. And I was just like, I was gonna revolt if you didn't win this past year, but you did. So yay. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, dude, and I'm telling you, the roar of that crowd was bonkers. I literally was like,
I cried like all night. And people kept showing me the video, and I was home. I didn't get home till 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And I think I was just so overwhelmed, not with the fact that I won, but just that the people of this state were that excited. And I think that kind of, for me, just solidified that I'm doing the right thing. You know, leading up to the pageant, I always was thinking to myself sometimes, am I doing this right? Because I'm not winning. You know, I'm serving,
Yeah.
not to win, but to impact people.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes when you're feeling that people feel impacted by who you are and what you're doing, that was the most humbling experience for me, because I couldn't even hear them say, Noa Mills, you are Miss Delaware USA,
Oh,
because
man.
people were so loud.
Loud.
And it was so funny because Grace was like trying to put the
Sash on.
sash, and I was like, man, like I didn't hear anything because it was so
So
loud.
loud.
And I just sat there and I just cried on my little baby. And it was just out of gratitude. I was very overwhelmed. I'm still overwhelmed. Every time I look at the
Think
video, I'm like,
about
there's
it.
no way these people are screaming for me. Like people I've never met, people, but they knew who I was. Or you
Yeah.
know, they shared stories with me after about things that I've done that have impacted their lives. And I was just like, you just never know who is watching. And you never know who needs for you to show up.
That's right. Yeah. Because and that's kind of how it is with like social media a little bit. You never know who's watching.
Yeah.
And so if you don't post and fill that void, somebody else will, and they're watching. You know what I mean?
They really
So
are.
it's,
and it means something to them.
yeah, it does. And that's a lesson I need to learn because girl, you know, I don't post that much. You know, she came up in here. She was like, you have 2 dogs.
I did. I was like, wait, where are the dogs from? Like,
2 dogs, a cat, birds. And she's, what is happening?
We have friends in here. Oh my goodness.
I'm not that big of an introvert with no animals at all. Yeah. So how do you handle, because this is a question, I guess, for myself, but also for you. Yeah. How do you handle people being intimidated by you in business and entrepreneurship and just like your awesomeness? Like I get it a lot. Yeah. So like, how do you handle it, deal with it?
Yeah, I think this is a lovely topic. And I like to talk about it with love, because I think that when you remember that people that are okay with themselves are not capable of hurting you, you understand that their insecurity is just what's leading them, and it doesn't have anything to do with you. It's just projection. I think if you can think about their hurt that's allowing them to treat you in that way, it kind of humanizes the experience. So every time someone's ever done anything to me that has come off as intimidated or insecure or said something that was maybe not positive, a lot of me just feels sorry, you know, that whatever they've experienced in their life has caused them to react or treat people the way that they do. And I honestly am now incapable of taking it personal because I know that. Yeah. And it keeps you from maybe being hurt because you know that it has nothing to do with you. So you can't take accountability for something that has nothing to do with you. I'm just a reflection of what you feel that you are not. When you come to that conclusion, it kind of takes away I can be hurt by that, I can be overwhelmed by this, because it's not anything I've done wrong. Like you said, you're just awesome. And that's not a sin. Like that's great. And I think that when we come to terms with the fact that people are hurt and only hurt people, you can understand the why, and it helps you to process, because you're not thinking about what's all wrong with you, because there's nothing wrong with you. It's amazing to be amazing. Yeah. And it's wonderful that you're awesome. And if someone can't see that, that has nothing to do with you.
Yeah, and I see that you're coming from the standpoint of like Gary Vee too, because Gary Vee is very much like, you know, if there's haters in the comments, he tells them, he's like, I'm sorry you're having a bad day. I love you.
Because at the end of the day, it's impossible for me to like myself and spew hate onto you. Like the two are mutually exclusive. Like, it cannot happen, because if I'm okay with me, I don't need to tear you down. It can't happen. So like you said, like Gary Vee does, and I'm really sorry that whatever happened to you in life has caused you to act this way. But honestly, I'm probably just going to pray for you and hope that, you know, things get better.
Right. Yeah. That's really good. And I've seen a lot, because like I come from a family of very intimidating women. Yeah. All of us are business owners. Yeah. So it's like to walk through life and have people be intimidated by us just because we're like business owners.
Yeah, it's like Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure you guys know. Yeah. Like it's normal, but it's confidence. And I think that's kind of the root of what kind of ticks people in a way that sometimes translates as taking something within themselves, and your confidence and your voice and your assurance within yourself to someone who's not secure within themselves is gonna create some kind of
Yes.
rippling.
Yeah.
I want to call it.
So, confidence and kindness, I think, is
and
the.
both together are like the best.
Yes.
But it also to people that are insecure, it's like I hate her even more. So I don't know why that happens, but it does.
All right. So, in your opinion, which historical figure would have made a great Miss Delaware USA?
Do they have to be from Delaware?
Nah, not really.
Okay. I want to really sit and think about this for a second. We're here. I'm trying to tell you. This is why I love you. What historical figure?
I don't even have a historical figure in my brain.
Head, I'm trying to really make sure it's an impactful answer. Keeping in theme of like women that are just trailblazers. I know this is like super, super far back, but when I'm thinking about radical leadership, that's like what I love. My like top favorite interest in life is women that are like, I'm just gonna do whatever I want. It's gonna change the world. I don't know why it really does.
Same here, girl.
I don't know. I'm like, whatever you're doing, I'm buying it. I'm following it.
Yes.
I don't know. I love you. Harriet Tubman. Yes. To me, in my brain, is just like the definition of I don't care about what you believe in.
That's right.
If it's not ethically right, if others are being hurt by it, I don't need to check in with 10 people to go make a change. I'm going to go decide to be that change and you're going to deal with it. But all the things that she's faced as far as the turmoil that we know took to do what it is that she did, it is radically astounding to me to watch women just without care, like just be like, look, I'm gonna change the world and the trajectory of all this that y'all got going on, and you're gonna be okay with it. Like that to me is true leadership, because there was no one that she went and asked, oh, can I really just go change the history of slavery? Can I go? No, she's like there's men following her, like you're a leader, like you're an actual leader,
right?
And I think sometimes when you get down to the bottom of it, there is an essence of independence that's required for you to lead boldly, because you can't wait for opinions to start and do what it is that you want to do. And she would have been a fantabulous Miss.
Yes. Yeah. I agree. So I just want to pause really quick, since we're talking about strong women, Black women leadership. I want to pause to remember Chelsea Christ, Miss USA 2019. That had a really profound effect on me. I mean, I cried for freaking days.
It was that for a long time, and still are feeling it, you know?
Yeah. You know, I just wanted to pause and remember her, but also it's going to lead me to my next question for you is mental health and well-being are increasingly being discussed within Black communities. And that's breaking down long-standing stigmas. From your advocacy work, how do you see the conversation around mental health evolving among Black women?
I love what I'm seeing currently in the mental health space as far as the removal of the stigma. You see now Black women talking on podcasts about not doing well, about what that looks like, how we're responding to it, being very vocal about what that looks like. And I think sometimes people have this like really starry-eyed concept of like, oh, I struggle with depression. Like, no, that's a real thing. It is. And people are dying from it. Yeah. People are being affected in their families and their children and their husbands and their parents. You know, it really is something that I find over time that I've been so happy to see. You know, my own family has been affected by it. So I love any time that a safe space is opened for people to be able to authentically share as the humans that we are. I think sometimes life doesn't always present opportunities for you to just be. And I really do mean like just be without your titles, without your responsibilities, without your list of things that we all have
without
to do
social
every day.
media,
any of it, Wi-Fi,
any of it, yes,
or the constant text messages or the emails or requirements. But when your head hits the pillow at night and all of that is silence, that's who you are. And it really is something to see women just be able to say, okay, I'm struggling. and that not be something for me to make fun of, something for me to tear you down about, something to, call you a name about, like categorize you, diagnose you. Like everything is just working its way to allowing that to be okay to say. And I'm really happy with that.
Yeah, I really have seen just a change of like the landscape overall for mental health.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, thank God for that, because there are a lot of kids that do need
a ton
those services now.
I love that the conversation surrounding age having nothing to do with it being involved. I think sometimes me and my dad have the conversation even just one generation apart. He's like, I could not say that when I was 15. Like nobody would care.
Right.
But I think now, even in watching people come into their own as far as learning and understanding it, I'm really happy to see the continuous growth that's taking place there.
Yeah. Same here. Oh, I'm very happy for the future of mental health. I really am.
We love advocacy. We love forward focused thinking and all that's taking place as far as moving the conversation forward and moving the needle forward. Really. Yeah. And I think that's great.
And I think it's going to bode well for the United States as a whole, because I mean, like I said, when we were growing up in school, we had nothing. Yeah. Now my kids, they're going to like emotional learning classes.
Oh my gosh, yes. I went to an ELC yesterday and it was an all boys school. A whole class of African American and Latino boys sitting in an ELC, like in a class for emotional learning where they just talk about their feelings. 30 minutes. I'm like, it's remarkable.
Amazing. I am so floored.
I was like, this is beautiful. But it really, like you said, it speaks to the forward movement of what's taking place for even to have been involved.
And I feel like the younger, like Gen A and Gen Z, they are so much more empathetic and they really understand feelings. So do I.
Everybody feels some kind of way about it, but like as sensitive Sally, that I'm like here for it.
Me too. Yeah. From pain to laughter, because laughter is the best medicine. Yes. Can you share a blooper moment from your time as Miss Delaware USA that you find funny now?
This didn't happen when I won. This happened my first year competing as Miss. I believe I was Miss Bear, and I'm going into interviews, and I knew nothing about anything. I'd say all the time my first year running, I don't know how I placed top 15. I'm not sure, but I got to interviews and my sash was on backwards. Like it just read USA Bear Miss. Like I was just like, I got to the door, but it was like, hey, beautiful. Vincenzo. He's like, let me just get that for you. Oh. And I was just like, oh my God. Oh. And it reminds you, like, you're about to go to this interview that is going to determine if you're going to win or not. And my brain is like, girl, you can't even get your sash on right.
But your answers were great, though.
I'm happy about that.
But you didn't walk out, though, with the sash on backwards,
I did not.
No, okay.
I walked out with it on
good.
correctly.
Oh, good.
Yes, but in that moment, it was
you were just like
you are so late to the game. You are just so right. But no, it was a learning opportunity, just like anything else.
Yeah, hey, at least you didn't walk out there with it. And Vincenza always, she's got your back.
She like makes sure everybody is like
on point.
Okay, she's an angel.
Yes, I know. I love Vincenza. Shout out to you again, because And I mean, this is going to be airing at 8 p.m. So I mean, I will literally be at Miss Delaware USA.
I'll probably be crying on the stage at that time.
I'll be in the audience recording her crying.
Yeah, I am laying in a puddle.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, you're still number one forever in my book. So as someone who's passionate about education, if you could instantly download one skill into everyone's brain, like Matrix style, what would you pick?
Math. If I ever was like defeated by something in life, it was math. Like for the life of me, how do I explain this? I was the kid that in my mind, I was an advanced learner. I was in a lot of advanced programs. And for me, math made sense in my head, but not on paper. So I would get the right answer, but I didn't know how to show my work.
Show your work.
So I literally was like taken to this like the top performing private school in Delaware, and they had like me test in front of like leaders and things like that. And they were like, how are you getting these answers? And I was like, I don't know what to tell you. It just makes sense in my mind. And I think I did a lot of like looking into other countries and how they teach math, and like how there's like a finger mechanism like in other countries where they like teach students in the ways in which we learn math here in America.
Right.
So different. It's just so interesting to me that it's just like it was so much going on in math class. I was just like, can we just not?
Can we not do this?
Do I have to learn all of this? Yes, is it important for, your academic abilities? Absolutely. Not saying that. It just was very hard.
Pre-calc is the worst. My daughter is kind of going through, she's going through the same thing with math. And like, we really gotta
it takes a lot of, and God bless the parents today. Like the ways in which.
I had to teach myself how to do, what is that? Common Core?
Yeah, yes. Common Core. The new curriculum is very.
I had my stepdaughter teach me.
You really need someone to teach you what to teach your help your kids.
I'm like, what is happening here?
It's very new. And like curriculum changes every couple years. So
it does.
Just like what you learned is not going to be what your child.
Nope. Just count on your fingers, guys. So in an alternate universe where beauty pageants involve competitive legislating instead of evening gowns, what would be your strategy to take home the crown?
If evening gown didn't exist,
and use legislative,
because evening gown is so pretty to watch.
I know. Okay, why don't we replace it with the bathing suit? Get rid of the bathing suit.
No,
we'll keep the gown.
I think I would go about winning that, kind of like approaching causes that mean something to me. So something that I really am and have learned throughout my current career is that people that struggle with substance use recovery are just people that have a struggle. It's really no more complicated than that. I think that it having so much stigma around it, I would love to talk about that. I love to talk about things that people don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
Because it means that it needs to be
talked about. Yeah.
So that would be my strategy, is to talk about something that people are not, maybe thinking the judges will be interested in hearing about, or thinking that the judges will judge.
Right.
Because I think that when you remove negative connotations from very real life experiences, you get to understand that, okay, there's education here to be had. And I think that when you understand that everything that you don't understand is just separated from you because you don't have the direct experience of it. If somebody that struggled with it was to talk to you, and you would understand that they wake up the same time you wake up and go to sleep the time you go to sleep, their brain functions just a little bit differently because of what they struggle with, but it doesn't make them any different than who you are or worth any kind of care that you receive. These aren't numbers. These aren't people that we should just shove away or put, they're lost causes. No, like, have you ever experienced something that you struggled with? Their struggle looks different than yours.
Yep.
And I think that being able to talk about very real life experiences in a very human way, from the lens that you're no different than me and our struggles are just different, kind of allows me to be able to convey to judges in any way that this is worth doing work around.
Yeah. No, and I really resonate with that, because I come from a family who's, had many generations of substance abuse issues. So, to really talk about that is I think one of the more important things, because, we do live in this society of like commercialized healthcare, and then like, the pushing of the pills and all of that stuff. It's a really important conversation to have, and you would win that pageant. We're at the end here, madame. This has been like so much freaking fun. I can't even. So any final thoughts? Anything you want to leave to the audience? Anything you want to say? Anything you want to say to the new winner of Miss Delaware USA? Because it's literally happening right now.
The next winner, when I say this, is I put this in my farewell. It's just a prayer for her. Just as she would allow this journey to shape her. And that all of the things that you think hurt a little bit, or are too much to do, or require a little bit more of you than you would normally give, that's where you'll grow. I think that this year has refined me in a way that no other opportunity could have refined me. It is such a niche experience that you go through by yourself. You are not. Yes, you have your team. Yes, you have your director. Yes, you have your sponsors, but nobody else is Miss Delaware with you.
Right.
And I think in your moment in time where all the variables are different, maybe your director is different, maybe your path to nationals is different, maybe, maybe you work, maybe you don't work, maybe you have a lot on your plate. There are so many things that are going to be thrown at you that in real time, when I look back, I'm like, how the heck did I do that? Like I don't know. And it is the most amazing growth experience that you can't ask for. It's just going to happen. So like, just be prepared.
Yeah.
But it really is something that you will appreciate, that in that moment where you thought, there's no way I'm getting that done by that deadline. There's no way I'm going to be that fit. There's no way I'm going to show up to this and go to work and go to the gym before and eat that and go there, and I have to be there, and I have to do real people life stuff too in between, like
And work.
that's the thing. Yeah, from 9 to 5.
Crazy.
Yes, and it's like you can do all
And you
that.
did it.
And you look back and you realize, my goodness, how low the bar that I set for myself before this.
Yes.
That's and you say to yourself, if I can do that, what more can I do?
What else can I do? Yeah. Oh man. Well, this has been just such a great interview, eye-opening, really just in depth. And I really just want to say thank you again for being such an advocate for mental health and for those with substance abuse issues, and just for being an all-around kind, genuine, chill AF kind of person. Because you are like one of my favorite people, to be honest with you. So that's why you're here. You're like my third freaking guest.
That
So
really like blesses my heart. And I hope that you know that I don't take words lightly, because I know you can say anything, but you choose to say and choose to be positive to others. And I think people don't understand sometimes the value and the weight of how just your words can impact and change someone else's life. So thank you for that.
oh, you're so nice. Well, thank you. I'm proud of you. And I can't wait to see what else you do and come up with. You are just getting started. So
I'm excited.
thank you.